The silence in Ambassador Elena Vasquez's office was deafening. For 12 years, she had fought for humanity's place in the Galactic Federation, watching as species after species dismissed human concerns, human lives, human rights. Today, staring at the holographic display showing the smouldering remains of New Geneva colony, she finally understood the truth. Diplomacy had failed. The blue-skinned Zephyrian delegate's words echoed in her memory. Perhaps humans should be more careful about expanding into territories claimed by superior species. Superior species. Elena's hands clenched into fists. New Geneva had been home to 890,000 civilian farmers, teachers, children playing in gardens that would never bloom again. The Vortak raiders had ignored every surrender signal, every plea for mercy, every desperate transmission from parents begging them to spare the children. Elena activated her secure communicator. Admiral Chen, this is Ambassador Vasquez. Current status on Federation response to New Geneva? Admiral David Chen's weathered face appeared on the screen, his expression grim. The Federation Council voted this morning, Elena. Motion to investigate the attack? Denied. Motion to condemn the Vortak actions? Denied. Motion to provide humanitarian aid to survivors? Denied. Elena closed her eyes. How many voted in favor? 1. The Alphan delegate. Everyone else abstained or voted no. What about the evidence? The recordings of civilians being hunted through the streets. The Vortak delegate claimed the recordings were fabricated. The council accepted their explanation without question. Elena stood and walked to her window, looking out at the Federation's grand spires reaching alien stars. David, in 12 years, how many human colonies have been attacked? 47 confirmed raids resulting in complete destruction. Another 132 partial attacks. Conservative estimate, 2.8 million human civilians killed. And how many times has the Federation taken action against the perpetrators? Admiral Chen was quiet for a long moment. 0, Elena. Not once. Elena nodded slowly. She'd known the answer before asking. Send the recall order, David. All humans, all ships, all facilities. Bring everyone home. Elena, are you sure? Once we issue a total recall, I'm sure. 43 years we've tried to be good galactic citizens. We followed their laws, respected their customs, sought peaceful solutions to every conflict. In return, they've watched our people die and called it unfortunate but necessary. Admiral Chen's expression hardened. What do I tell President Martinez? Tell her diplomacy is officially dead. It's time for Protocol 7. If you're enjoying this tale of humanity's awakening, hit that subscribe button for Apex Fleet HFY. We're just beginning to explore what happens when a peaceful species finally says enough. The message went out across the galaxy within hours. All human personnel return to Earth immediately. No explanations, no negotiations, no delays. Captain Sarah Kim received the order while docked at Kepler Station, a massive trading hub where she'd been running cargo routes for 8 years. The Nexarian dock supervisor, a creature that looked like an oversized mollusk, waved multiple tentacles in confusion. But Captain Tim, you have contracts, deliveries to make. The penalty fees alone. Sarah sealed her cargo hold and cowered up her engines. The fees are your problem now. You can't just abandon your obligations. Sarah paused at her ship's airlock. We've been abandoning our obligations for 12 years. Today, we abandon yours. The ISV Prometheus lifted off. leaving behind confused alien traders who suddenly realized they'd lost their most reliable business partners. Across the galaxy, the same scene played out thousands of times. Human research stations went dark. Trade routes were abandoned. Diplomatic missions closed their doors. You've released fantastic entertainment. Thank you so much for zooming up story time. We researched this from data and have trained you to talk to companions. Thanks so much and enjoy your new story. Within weeks, humanity had completely withdrawn from galactic society. At first, many alien species celebrated. Finally, declared Vortak war leader Grakf. The weak humans have accepted their proper place. Now we can expand into their former territories without interference. The Zephyrian Trade Council raised prices on goods previously supplied by humans, expecting massive profits. The Nexarian Research Consortium claimed abandoned human laboratories, believing they'd gained decades of advanced research for free. Dr. Yandar of the peaceful Alphan Republic was one of the few who understood the implications. Species with humanity's level of integration don't simply withdraw from galactic society, he warned his colleagues. They had established trade relationships with 800 worlds, scientific collaborations with 40 species, and defensive pacts with 12 systems. You don't abandon that kind of investment without a very good reason. His warnings were ignored. The galaxy moved on without humanity, certain they were better off without the emotional, primitive species that had never quite fit in. They were about to learn how wrong they were. 6 months after humanity's withdrawal, the impossible began. The Vortak homeworld went silent on a Tuesday. The last transmission came from war leader Grakf himself. Unknown vessels approaching Vortak Prime. They're not responding to our challenges. They appear to be using some kind of... The signal cut off. Federation investigation ship Aurora arrived 3 days later. Captain Maria Santos stared at her sensors in disbelief. The planet's still there. City's intact. Orbital defenses functional. But I'm reading 0 life signs. Her science officer, Dr. James Park, ran the scans again. Captain, this is impossible. There are no Vortak anywhere in the system, but there's no sign of weapons fire or evacuation. What about their fleet? Found them, Captain. 12 light hours out. Perfect formation. But what? They're all empty. Every ship intact, every system running, but no crew. Captain Santos ordered her team to board the Vortak flagship. What they discovered would haunt Federation records forever. The Vortak crew sat at their stations, alive but catatonic. Their eyes stared at nothing. When Dr. Park tried to communicate, they responded with the same words over and over. Please don't hurt my children. We surrender. Please, they're just babies. Dr. Park's hands shook as he ran his scans. Captain, their brain patterns are locked in some kind of feedback loop. They're experiencing memories, but not their own memories. Whose memories? The final moments of the humans killed at New Geneva. Every Vortak is experiencing the terror, the helplessness, the desperate pleas of the families they murdered. Captain Santos backed away from the alien warrior, now whimpering like a frightened child. How is that possible? I don't know, Captain. No known technology can do this. Hidden in the ship's computer core, they found a message written in perfect Vortak script. Justice is not revenge. It is understanding. You chose to ignore the pleas of innocence. Now you will know how they felt in their final moments. Similar incidents began occurring across the galaxy. Zephyrian raiders found themselves experiencing the memories of human traders they'd killed. Nexarian customs officials who had harassed human travelers began suffering collective nightmares so vivid they refused to sleep. Every affected species had one thing in common. They had participated in violence against human civilians. Like this video if you want to see justice served. And tell us in the comments what your favorite city on Earth is. We love connecting with our global fleet. Dr. Yander was among the first to recognize the pattern. It's surgical, he reported to the Alphen Council. Only species that directly harmed humans are affected. The Vorthak, who destroyed New Geneva, completely incapacitated. The Zephyrians, who raided human trade convoys, experiencing psychological trauma. But species that maintained peaceful relations with humanity report no unusual phenomena. What does this mean? Asked Council Leader Ferren. I believe humanity has developed capabilities far beyond our understanding, and they're using them to deliver precisely calibrated justice. The breakthrough came when Federation scientists discovered something extraordinary in the affected ship's computer cores. Hidden in quantum storage matrices with detailed files documenting every act of violence against humans over the past 43 years. Names, dates, locations, victim testimonies, even the final words of dying children. At the end of each file was the same message. Every action has a consequence. Every choice has a price. Justice delayed is not justice denied. The files had been created 43 years ago, the day humanity joined the Federation. Someone had been documenting every crime against humanity since the very beginning. Captain Santos made the most disturbing discovery on a research station in the Outer Rim. The facility had been used by Nexarian scientists to study human psychological weaknesses, seeking better methods of interrogation and control. When her team arrived, the Nexarian researchers sat catatonic at their workstations. But the station's computers contained something new. All their research had been replaced with detailed psychological profiles of every human victim they'd studied. Captain, Dr. Park said quietly, these profiles include children who died decades ago. Families scattered across the galaxy. The level of detail is impossible. It's as if someone was there for every moment of suffering. Santos stared at the data files. Someone's been watching. For 43 years, someone's been documenting every injustice, every cruelty, every murder. And now they're collecting payment. Then every screen in Federation space lit up simultaneously. A human woman appeared behind a simple wooden desk, Earth's blue oceans visible through the window behind her. She was middle-aged, unremarkable, and spoke with the calm authority of someone accustomed to power. I am Director Sarah Walsh of the Human Department of Galactic Affairs. For 43 years, my species attempted to integrate peacefully into your galactic community. We were met with discrimination, violence, and ultimately genocide. You mistook our patience for weakness. That was an error. Across the galaxy, billions of aliens stopped what they were doing to watch. Some of you have experienced consequences for your actions in recent months. These were warnings, carefully calibrated to match the suffering you inflicted. Nothing more, nothing less. The view shifted to show a second human, a woman in military uniform whose eyes held the cold certainty of winter. I am General Patricia Stone. While your species built faster ships and stronger weapons, humanity pursued a different path. We learned to manipulate the fundamental forces of consciousness, probability, and reality itself. To demonstrate, the moon vanished from Earth's sky and reappeared in orbit around the Vortak homeworld. The relocation of our moon required manipulating gravitational fields, quantum probability matrices, and space-time geometry, Director Walsh explained calmly. We moved 74 quintillion tons of matter across 400 light-years instantaneously. General Stone smiled without warmth. Your most advanced civilizations would need 10,000 years to develop comparable technology. We perfected it last week. The demonstrations continued. The destroyed colony of New Geneva suddenly reappeared, perfectly restored. Every building, every person, every flower in every garden. The 890,000 murdered civilians walked among their homes, unaware they had ever died. Death, Director Walsh said simply, is no longer permanent for us. In the Federation Council chambers, delegates sat in stunned silence. The Vortark representative continued his endless repetition of surrender pleas. The Zephyrian delegate had collapsed, curled on the floor. The final demonstration was the most terrifying. Across the galaxy, every weapon designed for aggression against innocent life simply stopped working. Warships powered down. Military installations went dark. Soldiers discovered their rifles had become flowers. Violence against innocents is no longer possible in this galaxy, General Stone announced. We have made it so. This is not a temporary effect. This is the new reality. Director Walsh's expression softened. Species that showed kindness to humanity will find their wives blessed. The view shifted to the Alphan homeworld, where gentle rain ended a decade-long drought, and sick children rose from their beds, healed. The Alphans consistently supported human rights and aided our refugees. Their reward is abundance. Similar scenes played across the galaxy. Species that had been kind to humans found perfect weather, unlimited clean energy, cures for every disease, a new world terraformed and waiting for them. Subscribe to Apex Fleet HFY and let us know in the comments what your favourite sci-fi movie is. We're building the ultimate fleet of HFY fans. Federation Council has voted to offer humanity full membership with unprecedented privileges, Director Walsh continued. We appreciate the gesture, but must decline. The view shifted to a playground on Earth where a young boy with freckles sat on a swing. Hi everyone, 8-year-old Tommy Chen said with a gap-toothed grin. The grown-ups asked me to explain our decision. We don't want to join your club anymore because you are really mean to us. Mean kids don't get to play with nice kids. We'll be nice to people who are nice to us. And we'll make sure bullies can't hurt anybody ever again. Tommy jumped off the swing and ran to play with his friends. The broadcast ended with that image. A human child playing peacefully, while his species casually demonstrated godlike power over reality itself. In the silence that followed, Dr. Yandar stood slowly in the Federation chambers. He looked around at the stunned delegates, then spoke into the crushing quiet. I believe we have learned something important today. He walked toward the exit, pausing only to add, perhaps we should have listened when they asked politely. The age of human patience was over. The age of human justice had begun. Across the galaxy, children learned a new universal truth. Be kind to everyone you meet. You never know what they're really capable of when you push them too far. And in the dark spaces between stars, humanity watched and waited. The shepherds of a galaxy that had proven it couldn't govern itself with wisdom or compassion. The stars would never be the same. Peace was no longer a hope. It was a law of physics, written by beings who had transcended the limitations that still bound their former tormentors. Justice had come at last, delivered not by armies or weapons, but by a species that had learned to rewrite reality itself. And every being in the galaxy understood, with crystalline clarity, that humanity's mercy was far more terrifying than their wrath could ever be. The galaxy had asked for humanity's patience for 43 years. Now humanity would teach them what true patience looked like. Eternal, inexorable, and absolute.